Have you paid a freelancer, contractor, virtual assistant, web designer, bookkeeper, or any other independent contractor this year? If so, you may be required to file a 1099 NEC, and missing this simple requirement could lead to IRS penalties. In today's video, I'm going to show you what a 1099 NEC is, who needs to file one, the current filing thresholds, the one mistake business owners make every year. So let's get started. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you find this video helpful. If you would like to support the channel, click the Thanks button on YouTube. First things first, what exactly is a Form 1099 NEC? The NEC stands for Non-Employee Compensation. In simple terms, it's the form businesses use to report payments made to independent contractors. Think about people like freelancers, consultants, graphic designers, virtual assistants, website developers, bookkeepers, marketing agencies. These individuals are not employees. When you hire employees, you issue paychecks and withhold taxes. But when you hire independent contractors, you simply pay them for their services. The IRS wants to know how much those contractors were paid, and that's where Form 1099 NEC comes in. Now let's talk about who needs to file a 1099 NEC. So who actually needs to file one? Generally, if your business paid an independent contractor above the IRS threshold amount during the year, you're responsible for reporting those payments. A common misconception is that every vendor gets a 1099. That's not true. Typically, the form applies to individuals, sole proprietors, single-member LLCs, partnerships. Another important point, 1099 NEC reporting is primarily for services, not products. If you bought inventory, office supplies, or physical goods, those purchases generally don't require a 1099. Next one is the payment threshold. Let's talk about one of the most important questions. How much do you have to pay before filing becomes required? For payments made through December 31st, 2025, the threshold is $600 or more. This can be one payment of $600, or 6 payments of $100, or any combination totaling $600 or more. Once the total payments reach that threshold during the year, a 1099 NEC is generally required. Keep in mind that tax laws can change, so always verify the current threshold for the tax year you're filing. Let's talk about the information you need. Before you can file a 1099, you need to collect some information from your contractor. You'll need legal name, tax identification number, address. For individuals, the tax ID is usually their social security number. For businesses, it's typically their EIN or employer identification number. Remember, you will need their legal address as well. The easiest way to collect all of this information is with a Form W-9. The W-9 is not filed with the IRS. Its purpose is simply to collect the contractor's information so you can prepare the 1099 later. You will also need to put your business information, so make sure it's handy and accurate. You will need your business name and legal address of your business. And you will need the EIN or TIN number for your business or LLC. You collect all this information with a W-9 form, as I mentioned. An IRS Form W-9 is the request for taxpayer identification number and certification form, which is a tax document used by businesses to request and verify a contractor's or vendor's legal name, address, and taxpayer identification number, or it's called the TIN. It certifies that the payee is responsible for their own taxes and is not a traditional employee. Before making the payment, if you get all the details, it will make your life easy as well to keep all the information on your record, which is why it is very important to get the W-9 before you send any money. Now let's walk through the actual steps to fill out the form. Step 1. Add payer's name, which is your business or LLC name that paid to the freelancer or contractor as we discussed. As you can see in our example, it is my business LLC. Step 2. Next, write down the address for your business. In our example, the address for my business LLC is 101 Main Street, my town, South Carolina. And then the zip 12345, and that's it. Step 3. Add payer's TIN, which is the EIN for your business or LLC. Your business is the payer. That's why you will enter your business or LLC's EIN. Step 4. Add your contractor. Add the contractor that you can simply add the details from their W-9. In this example, it's John Smith and their address. If you paid to another business, you can use their EIN number. Account number. Now this line is optional. This is the number payer assigns to the recipient for their own record-keeping purposes. If you have one, enter it there, otherwise it's okay to leave it blank. For most simple structure and small businesses, you may not have it, and it's totally fine. Step 5. Enter payment amount. Now let's go to Box 1, Non-Employee Compensation. This is one of the most important sections of the form. This reports the total amount you paid to the contractor or freelancer for their payment or services, fees or commissions, or other form of compensation during the tax year. If you paid someone $600 or more during the tax year for their services, you are required to report that. You need to file that details using this form to IRS and provide a copy to recipient. So go ahead and enter the total amount paid to that contractor during the year. For example, if you paid John Smith $3,000 throughout 2025, enter $3,000 in Box 1 Non-Employee Compensation. That's it. For most contractors, this is the only amount you'll need to enter. Also fill out cash tips, overtime compensation, etc. if that applies in your case. For our example, it does not apply, so we are going to leave it blank. For most straightforward small businesses with non-employee compensation situations, it will be the same way what you see in this example on your screen. If so, keep it blank. Fill out Box 2 and 3 if that applies to your situation. For most of the viewers watching this video, it won't apply. If that's the case for you, leave it blank as well. TTOC refers to the Treasury tipped occupation codes for your tipped occupation if that applies to you. Box 4, Federal Income Tax Withheld. Box 5, State Tax Withheld. Box 6, State or Payer's State Number. Box 7, State Income. In our example, we did not withhold any income tax for federal or state, so we are going to leave it blank. Most of you will have the same situation. If so, you can leave it blank and move on. If not, you will need to report the details on the form. If you paid someone $600 or more during the tax year for their services, you are required to report that. You need to file that details using this form to IRS and provide a copy to recipient. You have a copy A for Internal Revenue Service Center, then also one for the State Tax Department, a copy for recipient. So make sure you follow the direction and send a copy to each of the relevant parties. Lastly, review and make sure the information you have written is accurate. Verify all information is correct. Then save the form for your records. Repeat the process for each contractor. Now I will cover the most common 1099 questions. What is the filing deadline? For Form 1099 NEC, the deadline is generally January 31st of the following year. If January 31st falls on a weekend, the deadline typically moves to the next business day. Missing the deadline can result in IRS penalties. Do payment methods matter? Yes. Payments made by check, ACH transfers, Zelle app, Venmo, PayPal, cash. All of these are generally included when calculating reportable payments. However, payments made by credit card could be handled differently because the payment processor reports them separately. And that's everything you need to know about Form 1099 NEC. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more small business tax and accounting tips. And before you hire your next contractor, remember the golden rule. Get the W-9 before you send the first payment. That one simple step can save you a lot of headaches during tax season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.